Welcome back to FedBiz Exchange. I'm Michelle Brown, your coach and your mentor. I'm very pleased to let you guys know that August 18th, I will hold a live training session for medical staffing government contracts. You guys have been asking for this for a very long time, and it's been a long time coming. So if you're interested in growing your business with medical staffing government contracts, go ahead and click on the link in the comments section. It is free. It will be live. It will be recorded in case you can't attend. But if you're really interested and you want to make sure that you can be there with me to ask questions, click on the link in the comment section and go ahead and hold your space. Now, many of you, if you've been with me for a little while, you know that Jessica was my first protege, and still, she's like a daughter to me now. She's doing extremely well. I'm waiting for her to win even more contracts. But you guys saw what she went through for medical staffing in her first 62 days. I barely knew Jessica. I trained her and walked her through what she needed to do, but she did it by herself. Everything I told her to do, she did it. So if you want that to be you, go ahead and click on the link in the comments section. And like I said, many of you have been begging for this for a long time, and now it's here. So click on the link in the comments section. But I want to talk to you about some of the things you should know about medical staffing and what it's going to take for you to become a multi-million-dollar staffing company. So this training is happening in 5 days, 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 27 seconds. In 5 days, I'll walk you through what you need to do to start winning medical staffing government contracts, not just in your state. You can do it just in your state, but nationwide. So let's get into it. First, I want to talk to you a little bit about the market. In the free training, I'll go into this in more detail, but the medical staffing market, not just with government, has been enormous for many, many years, not just because of COVID, but because we've had a nursing shortage, we've had a lot of medical doctors to retire. There's a lot going on in the industry. So there's a huge need for medical staffing all over the country, whether it's in a hospital, whether it's local, whether it's nationwide, or whether it's the government. It's wonderful with the government because you can get contracts that last for 4 and 5 years. Not always, but Jessica did. She had a contract, her first one, that was 4 years, but she also had a contract that was only for 6 months that was very lucrative. These are the types of things you need to understand. And you need to be prepared to be committed to what you're doing. You can't just look at the money. There is a lot of money that is being spent in government medical staffing. $17.6 billion spent between 2020 and 2022. And 2022 is not even over yet. It will not end until October 1st. So there are many great things, but don't do this just because there's a lot of money in it. Yes, there is, but it also takes a business person, a very serious business person, and I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you in just a couple of minutes how small businesses, small minority-owned businesses have turned into $70 million companies over just maybe a 5 or 6 year period. If that's what you want, then you need to understand this is very serious. It's a great business to get into, but you have to love it. You can't just do it because it's about the money. So here's an example of a medical staffing company winning government contracts consistently. You see this $74.1 million. This is a small business, a minority-owned business that has been planting seeds for many years, since 2008. And they have consistently grown because they show up, number one. What do I mean by showing up? They appear when they need to appear, when their agency that they want to work with, whether it's the Veterans Administration or Health and Human Services, puts out a bid that they need 50 nurses or 2 doctors or 5 therapists, these people show up. That's why they're able to corner the market. That's called branding in government contracting. I'll get into that in the free training, but contracting officers know who they are. They may want more choices, but guess what? AB staffing consistently shows up. This is where I want to see Jessica. This is a $74 million contract award, but guess what? This is just one. I'm going to show you in a moment how this company has progressed, but they show up consistently. That is 60 to 75% of winning is showing up, putting a package in front of the contracting officer. That's how you start winning. Look at the growth consistency for this company. They started in 2008. They started at $6.6 million when they first started winning in 2008. Now, today, right now, the government, for 1 year, this 2021 year, the government paid out so far under that $74 million contract, $73.3 million. Every year, they doubled and tripled their numbers because they became part of the system. The agencies that they work with grew to know them. This is where I want to see Jessica and other medical staffing companies like yourselves, if you're serious. This is serious business right here. This is why I tell people, don't worry about not winning. You need to worry about winning. And when you make your decision, like these folks have, being consistent and consistently focused, you're going to achieve massive numbers like this. So in this training, we will talk about 4 steps. The first step is your branding, your image. You need to understand how important it is for you to have not just your domain and your logo and your website, but that you perform based on how good you look. Your image is the first thing that they see. And I teach all of my proteges to present a very professional image and package. That means when you submit your package or a capability statement, it needs to show exactly what you want the government to know that you're capable of doing. That package, your pricing, how you describe your company, all of those things are very important, but that's part of your image. So the first thing you have to do is make sure your image is good and that you have professionalism that goes along with your image. You and your team, if it's just you build the culture and the environment that you want the government to see. If they have to deal with you as the CEO, that's just fine. If you're a one-man band, there's nothing wrong with that. You can build from there. Number 2, the recruitment system. You have to have a recruitment system. Everything has to be very organized. You need your hiring software. You need a way to create job postings very quickly. Jessica and her team were amazing. I mean, when I met them, she moved so quickly after I started teaching her about how to take her recruiting knowledge. She didn't do medical staffing in the beginning. She did other types of staffing. But again, she won very quickly because she did everything that I encouraged her and guided her to do. She took her experience that she already had, which a lot of you guys don't have. And this is why I created the system for you, because you cannot be all over the place. You have to have a screening process. None of this stuff is difficult, but it takes discipline. And like I always say, don't worry about not winning. Worry about winning. Do you have it together? Do you have 5 nurses in your database already? Maybe, maybe not. I'll talk to you about those things. Screening processes, interviewing, background checks, those kinds of things. You need a checklist, and that checklist should allow you to run a very orderly business. Step 3, the HR forms that you need. You are going to need an application. That's no big deal, but you need other agreements, non-disclosure agreements, non-compete agreements, offer letters, things that most people probably won't talk to you about, things that protect you and your company. Policies and procedures. What other things do you need? Workers' comp. What type of insurance do you need? Government doesn't require a whole lot. It's affordable, and you can get started very quickly if you follow the steps and you get everything together and you do what you're taught to do. Because 1, 2, and 3 are required before you start submitting bids. You don't want to submit a bid and win and you don't have it together. So medical staffing period, but specifically medical staffing when it comes to government means we got it together. We're very professional. We're going to be the leaders when we win that 4 and 5 year contract. So if you're serious about winning medical staffing government contracts, 4 and 5 years, 6 months, whatever it is, nationwide or just local, click on the link in the comments section and join me on August 18th. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And you can ask me your questions live, so that's even better.